Hello, welcome back to KXAN Live. Today we have our space-based segment with our KXAN space expert, Eric Henriksen. Eric, thanks so much for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you so much for having me.
So today we're talking about an asteroid, and this particular asteroid is said to be the size of the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, it's like 33 meters roughly in size. It's coming by later this week. I believe it's on January 31st. What's that, Friday? Friday, yeah. You know better than I do. It's all a blur for me every day of this week. Yeah, it'll come by on Friday. It's not going to be that close, but it is noteworthy because of the size. And it's one of several that are passing by the Earth this week, which I think is pretty fascinating that there's one this large passing close. Relatively close when you think about how relatively it works.
Well, before we go on, we don't want to scare anyone. This is not hitting Earth, right?
It is not hitting Earth. It's pretty far away. It's pretty big, but not like that big. It's not huge. When you think about how big these things are when they hit Earth, if they hit Earth, the really big ones, like kilometers, miles apart across, are the ones we have to worry about. A few meters, yeah, it's nothing. They burn up a lot of times. There's actually a school bus size one. This is how I saw it referred to, coming today. So there's quite a few this week. It's a busy week. It's a busy week for rocks passing by the Earth.
So this is not something that's uncommon. It happens pretty much every day, right?
Right. Well, yeah. This week especially, it's every day. This week alone, I think we have 8 objects between January 28th and February 1st. So that's, it sounds like a lot. Yeah, it's basically every day we have something. And they kind of range from size. The largest is this one, the Statue of Liberty size one. By the way, its name, which is not very sexy, is 2015 DJ155. And it has been spotted 6 times prior to this one. It has passed by the Earth. This is the 7th time it's flying by the Earth since 1902.
So this particular one has visited us multiple times.
It has visited us. It's probably caught in an orbit around the solar system and then just kind of zips by and orbits us again. And we were able to spot it, and they were able to do triangulations to figure out where it's been in its orbital path. That's high science. That's stuff I don't understand. But they were able to use math to figure out its path and its history, and they were able to do that there. 2015 usually is the year it's discovered. So this was likely discovered in 2015. And I don't understand I don't know what DJ155 is. I believe it's a reference to the astronomer and like location it was discovered in. So
that leads me to my next question. How do these asteroids get so close to us?
Space is big. The solar system was formed by a big nebula cloud, and this is theoretical, we weren't there. It all condensed into the sun, and all those leftover pieces of dust and dirt and cloud each spun through space and formed into the planets, but there's still a lot of that dust and dirt. Some of it's stuck in the asteroid belt, and some of it's just kind of moving through the solar system in orbit around our sun, just like we are, just smaller scale. And this is one of those objects that's in orbit around our sun and just zips down occasionally and goes back out. Some of those bodies became moons. Our moon is a chunk of our Earth after a large object, an asteroid, hit our Earth billions of years ago. Chunk came off, became the moon. Some moons are actually objects that are flying through space like this that just get caught in the gravity of Uranus or Neptune. Uranus has a couple like this, where they become a moon just because they get caught in the gravity of that. So yeah, these things are swirling through our solar system all the time, swirling through the universe all the time. But the universe is big and they're far apart. Perspective-wise, this one is 4.4 million miles from Earth.
Whoa.
The moon is a little less than half a million, or it's a quarter of a million miles roughly. And Mars is 140 million, I believe is what I have it at. 140 million, so pretty far out there. So it is close relative to the rest of the universe, but not that close. Not to the point where they usually kind of ears perk up when an object moves between the moon and the Earth. And this one's outside the moon. There's ways to track it, and I looked at it on the Jet Propulsion Laboratory's tracking software, and it's a ways out there. It's a dot way away from our dot in space.
And Eric, how many of these objects are expected to swing by Earth between tomorrow and February 1st?
So that's 8 objects between today and February 1st. Oh. We have 8 objects. Perspective-wise, last year, I got a number for you, that's fun. Last year, there were 145 objects that passed between the Earth and the moon.
Oh, wow.
Just last year. So that shows you how often it happens. Most don't pose a threat at all, though. So this is, like I said, it's very common. Things move by pretty quickly.
Wow. So if you're out flying around in space, you will probably get hit, but we won't get hit.
If you're flying around and you're really big, you have a chance. That's like the moon, it's covered in craters because things are hitting it all the time. Yeah. Things are hitting the Earth all the time. Or I had that number here, it's like 14 million tons or something like that something like that. 14 million tons of dust hits the Earth every year. Tons of dust hits the Earth every year from space. These are small rocks to big rocks, and they just get evaporated. Most of the time, they don't make it to the surface.
Now, is there any threats to Earth that this particular giant asteroid is going to give to us?
This one has no threat to us. There are some in our future. They're pretty far away, so we should be pretty lucky. Yeah, I mean like really far. The big one is Bennu. It has a 1 in 2,700 chance of hitting the Earth and causing some damage. It would wipe out a city. It's not a planet killer.
Which city?
It depends on where it hits. If it hits. It's going to hit where most of us are not going to be here, September 24th, 2182.
I might be here.
You might be here. No telling. We can invent, life is long with technology these days. But 1 in 2,700, it's pretty unlikely that it'll hit us. There's another one. This one, again, not a great name. 29075 1950 DA. It has a 1 in 34,000th chance of hitting Earth on March 16th, 2880. That one is capable of wiping out life. So if we don't, in the next 800 years, figure out a way to stop an asteroid, life on Earth could be wiped out. 800 years is a long time, though. We could figure it out. Again, 1 in 34,000th of a chance. You're more likely to get into a car accident, I think, the stats are.
We might be on another planet by that point.
Fingers crossed. My big hope for the human race is that we spread and propagate across the entire solar system and then eventually the universe over hundreds and thousands of years. So with any luck, we'll get there.
Now, there's this video that you shared with me. Can you explain to me what is in this video?
Right. So this is DART. Now, DART, the Double Asteroid Redirection Test, was NASA's attempt in 2022, and this actually happened in 23, to redirect an asteroid. Basically, they launched a small spacecraft called DART at this asteroid Dimorphos, and it was orbiting another asteroid. And they needed that because they used it to figure out if it worked, because they had the two objects orbiting each other. Mm-hmm. And they collided a small spacecraft into this asteroid and just kind of like knocked it a little bit. And this is one of the ideas of how we could defend ourselves from an asteroid. A space laser, hard. A bunch of TIE fighters flying at an asteroid, blowing it up, hard. Just nudging it a little bit, we discovered we can actually do that. This actually knocked it out just a little bit off its orbit.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if in space, you're talking about great distances, if you nudge something a little bit, just a little bit,
it will shoot past.
And it'll go right past. It doesn't take a lot. All you got to do is, I don't remember how much it moved it, but it wasn't very much. But all that takes is that little bit, and it'll change its course through all of space. When we do calculations on landings and meeting up in space with the space shuttle meeting up with the International Space Station, or rockets meeting up with the International Space Station, the math to do all that is really complex, because if you're off by just a little bit, you're way off. And because space is theoretically infinite, you could be off forever. So deflecting an asteroid might literally be as simple as just hit it with a tiny rock at the right distance, at the right moment, and it'll completely miss us. Mm-hmm. So Bennu, 29075 1950 DA, they might be knocked off by our own future solutions, like DART here. It's a solution. It's a solution to a possible world-ending catastrophe.
What
Pretty
about
cool.
2023 TL4 2007 FT3?
Oh, whoa, which one's that?
I see it in your article.
That's a long one.
It says other major asteroids NASA's watched.
Those are just other. These numbers are so bad, y'all. Those are 3 other asteroids. Those 3 asteroids have a chance, but not as big as the other 2 of hitting us. Smaller, and also less devastating, all 3 of those, than 29075 1950 DA. You see how I cannot remember these numbers? I have notes to get the numbers across, because I don't remember 29075 1950 DA.
Names?
Well, they gave Bennu one. I think it has to reach a certain amount of we talked about this recently, how they name things. So there's a long list of things to be named, and things move up on priorities based on how likely they are to hit the Earth. But also, they don't like to name things, if you recall from a few weeks ago, they don't like to name things that could hit the Earth because no one wants to be hit by asteroid Dave.
Yeah, and no one wants to be responsible for naming that asteroid.
Right. And I don't know if you ever saw that movie Deep Impact, where they named the comet that was going to hit the Earth after the two discoverers. They don't do that. That's not how it works. We try to, if things are a threat to us, we try not to name it. There's another one, Apophis, that poses a threat. And that Apophis is the Egyptian god of death, I believe, if I recall properly. Apophis.
Clever name, then.
Yeah, I mean, that's appropriate.
Yeah. Well, on your article that you wrote up, that's on our website, kxan.com, there's a section that says, Saving the Human Race from an Asteroid Impact. Talk to me about what you meant by that.
That's about DART. That's all about DART and how we're going to do it and kind of NASA's plans. So they have a few different ways they're doing it. DART's a major one. They're also observing these and trying to figure out, do any of them pose a threat to us on Earth? And observation is the key to discovering a solution. So check that out. I think that photo right there is where DART collided with the asteroid. That's all.
Pretty
cool.
light.
Pretty light. A big old punk. It was kind of funny. You saw the video a second ago, but it's actually a really funny video how that just kind of dunk hits it. It's like it's getting closer. This is the camera on the DART, by the way. And then as soon as it turns red, that's where it just goes.
They're all celebrating.
Impact. They're like, yeah, we made it. It's getting closer. It's getting closer. I know this play-by-play is from a year old, and then it's dead.
Dead?
That was it. That's where it collides, right there. And then that's where it knocked it off course. So yeah, you're also thinking like they're trying to hit a rock in space that's moving with another thing that's moving. That's hard.
So that's pretty much what they're doing, what you see right now.
Exactly. That's what it looked like. Cartoon version, of course. And as you see, it's orbiting a different asteroid. They needed that because if it moved, they could detect how much it moved by based on changes to the orbital pattern around its twin asteroid.
So
and they
that
hit the smaller
little craft hit the asteroid.
That's it.
Wow.
Very cool. So that's one of our solutions. They're working on some more. Read the article to see all that stuff they're doing.
Yeah, and that article is on kxan.com. It's titled Asteroid the Size of the Statue of Liberty Nears Earth This Week.
That's it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Eric, here on Space Base. We can't wait to see what other topic we're going to talk about next week.
It's a big universe out there. We got a lot to talk about.
Thank you. And that's all we have today on the Space Base. We'll be back later today with much more streams, and we hope for everyone to join us back here. Thank you.